These are 5 legitimate ways to live for free, one of which I am doing, one of which my brother is doing, and the other ones I plan to do in the future. This can be the absolute best thing you will ever do for your finances. It got a lot of people started. It has gotten me started. It can eliminate your business expense. I cannot oversell this. Let's get into it. All right, so if you've seen my channel, you pretty much know that I think house hacking is the best thing ever. So let me just tell you a few quick reasons why you might want to do this and what the benefits are, and then we'll jump into a couple different strategies that will work in different kinds of markets. All right, now the first benefit is that is gonna drastically reduce your biggest expense. Now, all of these strategies will lower. So your biggest expense, usually around 33%, is gonna be your housing. So this, for me, has eliminated and made it a positive thing. And depending on what you decide to do, it could drop it down to almost nothing or completely nothing. The second thing is it allows you to build equity for free. So since I'm living here and my tenants are paying my mortgage, taxes, and insurance, I am building equity every single month in this property without me ever actually having to pay for it. The next awesome thing is that you can save on taxes. The depreciation and any repairs and stuff like that can all be tax deductible. So the last thing is the ROI on this is just insane. I got into this place for $6,500 down for a $200,000 property, because you can find a 1% loan, you can find like a 3%, 3.5%, 5%. So you can get into a house hack very, very cheaply, and it's gonna be like almost impossible to find a better cash on cash return. So you're not gonna be able to invest much better than this to have a long-term gain. So after I put in the initial money to get the house hack, I just start collecting money every single month on that, and I never have to put anything else into it. So let me show you what my brother is doing and how he is house hacking. All right, hey, we're at my brother's house. All right, so what he does is he bought a multifamily the same as I did, except his is a duplex. So he rents out 2 of his bedrooms in the duplex that he is staying in like the apartment that he's staying in, and he rents the other ones out. So he can either get a roommate, or right now he's doing Airbnb and make it even more than he would with a roommate, and then he's still able to have the biggest bedroom for himself and have all the common areas. He just has roommates that stop, or like Airbnb guests that stop by, and he's able to talk to them and meet new people and have some excitement. So between the tenants upstairs and renting out the rooms down here, he's able to cover his mortgage, tax, and insurance and live completely for free and start making money while living here. And just all he needs to do is, like deal with the Airbnb guests. So this is not gonna be for everybody, but if you don't mind doing that, that's a really, really cool tool. This is one of the bedrooms that he rents out here. All right, so a multifamily is not gonna work for everybody, but you can also do something very similar to this with a single family property. So single families might be cheaper, there might be more of them where you're at. So you could get a single family, live in one bedroom and rent out the other bedrooms, and essentially do the same thing, where that if you do it right and you're in the right market, it's not gonna work everywhere, but it should cover most or all of your living expenses just by having some roommates and doing things a little differently. All right, let's go back to my place for the last one. All right, the next one is the traditional method of house hacking. This is the one that I have done myself. All right, so what I do here is the traditional house hack. So this is pretty much when you buy a 2 through 4 unit multifamily, you live in one unit, and then the other ones would cover all your expenses. So for me personally, I bought this place for around $200,000, and then the other 2 units were already rented out. I rehabbed and then moved into this unit, and the entire time, all my taxes, mortgage, and insurances have been paid from the rent from the other 2 units. So I am living here essentially for free and actually making some money every single month while living for free in a nice new rehabbed unit. So this is not gonna work in every market. This is probably gonna be a little bit of a lower price market where this is gonna work, but if you're in one of the more higher end expensive markets, then maybe you could try a different strategy. But there are many, many ways to do this to at least lower your housing costs if you're not able to eliminate it entirely. All right, so the next one is going to be the live-in flip. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than the other ones in that you're going to be getting a single family home instead of a multifamily home. So a live-in flip is pretty much what it sounds like, where you're going to buy a property, you're going to try to live in it and improve the value while you're there by rehabbing as much as you can. And then eventually you're going to go ahead and sell it and make a profit. But here's the really cool thing about this. You are able to make up to $250,000 without paying capital gains tax, or $500,000 for a couple. It's tax-free money just for living in the property, as long as you live in there for 2 years. So let me just give you a little example here, since this is something that I plan to do in the future. Now, you'd be able to get this if you're a first-time home buyer or whatever with a 1%, maybe 3.5% or 5% loan, and then you're able to buy that property. So let's say you bought it for $100,000, you put down 1 or 3.5%, and then you put another $50,000 into it to increase the value of it. You're living there while you're doing this. You're doing a lot of the rehab work yourself to try to do this as cheaply as possible. And then let's say after you live there for a few years and you've put in this money and you've really fixed it up, you've made it really nice, it's worth $250,000. So it's worth $100,000 more than all the money that you put in, the 100 grand and the 50 grand. Now, when you go to sell that, you're able to take that gain, that $100,000, or if it was more, if it was 200, if it was 500, you're able to take that and not have to pay capital gains tax on it. Whereas if you did a flip and you didn't live there, you're gonna have to pay a pretty good tax on that. So this is not going to be for everybody, because you are going to have to live in the property while you're fixing it up. It's going to take a lot of nights and weekends, but if you kind of look at it as a second job that you don't have to pay taxes for, and like if you want to do that kind of thing, it's really cool. And the other neat thing about it is you're able to fix it up however you want it to be, and then you could live in there for 5 years. So you could do all that first rehab in a year or two, and then you could enjoy it for a few years, and then you could go ahead and sell it and still make a profit on your housing. So this might work better for a market where there's not a lot of multifamilies around. Maybe you're not in the city, or you're in a place where multifamilies are really, really expensive, and a single family might have less competition for it, or it just might be better in your market. So this might work better in a higher priced market. And if you are able to get something that you're able to add a ton of value, like $500,000 worth of value to, then that is going to be a huge chunk of change. And maybe you just do small one, you work your way up to more expensive ones. But this can be a really cool way to have always the single family life, but all you need to do is deal with the construction, and then you're able to have that for free, and that'd be your housing hack. All right, so the last one might appeal to more people, as you still get the single family life and you don't have to live in a construction zone. So with this one here, pretty much the idea is you would buy a single family home that has a second dwelling on it. So maybe it has an in-law apartment, or you can build something onto it or something like that, and you're able to Airbnb or rent that out to a long-term tenant. And that should cover part to most of your mortgage. So maybe you have like a nice single family house, but on the side it just has like this little 1 bedroom, 1 bath, little kitchen apartment. You're able to rent that out, and that can definitely help while you still get the single family lifestyle, but you don't have to pay the full price for it, and they're able to help pay down your mortgage. All right, for those people who think that real estate investing is risky, everybody's gonna need a place to live anyways. So instead of taking money out of your pocket every month and having this be a liability, why not try to turn it into an asset? So for instance, I would need to be living somewhere, and for anything comparable to where I'm at, it would be probably between $1,000 and $1,300 per month. But instead of me having to pay that every single month, and that $10,000 to $13,000 a year, I'm able to pay $0 every month and actually collect a little bit of money. And then when I go to move on to the next property and do this again, I'll start to collect money from this house. I'll make probably over $1,000 every single month for that one-time investment that I did. And even with 1/3 of the building empty like it is right now, because I'm living in one, I'm still collecting money. So it's not like there's all that much risk. The building's never gonna be completely empty. And even if it was, I'd be able to float the mortgage, but that's not gonna happen. In the price point where I'm at right now for the rents, there's always gonna be people looking for this price point. So before you go ahead and you buy a condo, you buy a single family home and you strap yourself for a long time, at least consider one of these options. Because even if you're able to just get one and then you're able to get a single family home after that, you'll be able to take that monthly cash flow of probably $1,000 and put that towards your mortgage instead of you actually having to pay it. And that can save you tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars over your life just from doing that one-time thing when you're younger especially. It makes a huge difference because it eliminates that monthly expenses, and that just adds up so much over time. So as long as you do all your numbers right and you get a correct property. Anyways, that's my opinion on that. If you got some value out of this, please go ahead and hit that like button. It really does make a huge difference. And if you're not subscribed already, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I'm trying to make this channel a little bit different than everybody else's finance channel. I'm trying to make it a little more vlog style, and you saw the transitions I was trying to work on. So I'm trying to make this a little bit better every single week and keep finances interesting and real life examples, for instance, like what I'm actually doing and things that are actually working for me. And I think there's value in seeing that this works on the small level, and then you get to see it work on the large level from other people or from me eventually. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a good day.